Hey guys, welcome back. For those who are new here, my name is Chemistry, and I am the host of Just Grow With It from My Truth Magazine. A part of, let me backtrack for a second. I started this journey about 3-4 years ago when I first started writing my book. And once I published my book last year, link is in the bio, it sparked another childhood dream. Like after I checked that off my bucket list, it sparked another childhood dream. And I always wanted to be like Khadijah from Living Single. You know, she ran her own magazine company. She was like boss babe. She had her little booze coming in and out, but her main focus was her baby, was her magazine. And after publishing my book, like that was my next goal, my next venture. I'm still working on it, but you know, with this day and age, no one is really buying magazines like that. And if you really want your messages and your art, you know, put out in the world, you have to utilize the internet. And so I started to make a digital vision board, a digital vision board or a digital magazine, so to speak. I started on Instagram, and it was sort of like it's building up the momentum to actually, you know, it's building up the momentum for me to be able to produce my first publication. Like I'm learning the ins and outs. Everything I do is self-taught. I'm self-taught with everything. Even publishing my book, I self-published. I edited it. I wrote it. Thank goodness for like ChatGPT to help correct and, you know, autocorrect some sentences and help you with some wording or whatever. Thank goodness for that, because that came, you know, in handy in a major way. But so with the magazine, you know, I had to learn the back end of it. I had to learn about the first publications of magazines. It was so fun, like learning the history and the backstory about everything. First of all, yes. And so turning it to like a digital form. I didn't have the resources when I started, so I worked with what I had. And so I just started doing like a vision board type magazine, and the things like I put out, you guys can check out also the link in the bio for that. You can go to my Instagram page and see what I started. But with the Just Grow With It campaign, that part of it, which is this YouTube channel, is basically like I wanted it to be a platform or outlet for me to come and just to share my story, give advice, and also just to watch my journey of just literally growing with it. You know, often, I talk to people all the time, and it's interesting. With life's journey and with love, love being like at the centerfold and like the main topic and shit. A lot of times when people speak about their past loves, they come from a place of hurt or placing the blame on the other person to why the relationship didn't actually work out. And for me, I've always seen both sides of the coin. And for me, like each chapter in my life, every love story that I ever had, like I never left with a bitter taste in my mouth. You know, and not all of my stories ended with sunshines and butterflies, but after the fact, and once I've realized that that person either, you know, someone comes in your life, they're going to teach you something, you're going to gain something from being in that situation. But the growth from each situation in each chapter, like I was able to take something away. And each soul that I encountered and each love story literally shaped the woman that I am today. And even when it was like if I got cheated on or like the relationship was toxic, I still look at both sides of the coin, and I never just blame that person for what the outcome of the relationship was. I always look at it like entirely. I look at like who I was as a person, who they were as a person, our age, especially now that I'm in my 30s. I look back and was like, girl, we was just young 20-something out here living large and in charge, big boy. But like, I can't blame them. And I got some heartbreaks and some heartaches in my story. And like, I still you know, my love is unconditional. So if I ever told you that I love you, I still love you. That doesn't mean I'm in love with you, I'm gonna be with you, but my love is unconditional. And if I once loved you, you know, and you know, our souls touched, it was for a reason. And I'm always at that special place in my heart for you, like, no doubt about it. And it's just really interesting, like, we go through these paths. And my thing is, for me, what's life without love? And we're supposed to have these experiences and meet these people to essentially, like, show us how and what love really means, in a way, you know? It's just been a really, really, really interesting journey for me, and I'm so grateful for all the love stories that I've ever had in my chapters in my life. Like, and you know, if anyone experiencing like heartbreak and this person was toxic, just look at like everything. You know, they say you are what you attract. And so that was a big part of like how I was able to cope and heal when like relationships and stuff was over. Cause it's like, okay, so what was I reflecting for that situation? Like, was that a part of me essentially that I needed to see to fix? Did I need to experience that experience to grow? Like, you know, it was certain people bring out certain triggers in you for your growth. And so like I looked at it like that, you know, and I'm just so grateful. Like every single one of you guys, anybody that sees this that I ever dated, all you guys like have literally made an impact in a small way or whatever, you know, in some way into my story and helped shape the woman that I am. And even me looking back and, you know, I was the toxic one sometimes. And I look at like where I was and what was I trying to express or what was going on with me that situation happened. Even when I was like hyper, you know, sexual and shit, and I was just out here, you know, my first year in California, you know, I was single and I haven't been single in like over 2 years because I'm a serial monogamist, and I went from a 5-year relationship to another 5-year relationship. And finally, when I was single out here in these streets, your girl was out here in these streets, okay? But I learned about myself. I learned a lot about my needs and my wants and my body and what turns me on, what turns me off. Things I didn't even know turned the girl on. Like, I learned the fucking lot during my little single phase out here, y'all. No lie, no lie. Oh man, but I say all that to say, what's life without love? And what's life without love? And I know that I'm fortunate to know in every relationship that I've went into, like even if, you know, when the doors even closed on one relationship, I did take the time that I needed for myself. I realize now that those gap periods should have been extended a little bit more to focus on self. But whenever I was ready, or I told myself that I was ready for something like a new relationship, like literally God was like, boom, you want another lesson? I got it for you. And like threw it in my face and like, boom, there I go, jumping. Excuse me, jumping head in, because I'm a lover, and the way that God teaches me my lessons is through my path of least resistance. And that's through love. I'm a sucker for love, for sure. And so the easiest way to get any message or lesson or teaching to me, God and the universe like conspired to teach me through each of these chapters in my love story, you know? And I learned the art of discernment, the art of letting go, the art of not giving a fuck, but also giving a fuck at the same time, but putting myself first and realizing that I never had to stay in a situation where I didn't want to stay in. And sometimes you have to be truthful not only to yourself, but to the person that you're dealing with when that place comes. And I know sometimes it's really hurtful, but the more hurt will come will come from staying within that situation and prolonging it, and now you guys are hating each other because you should have let go longer, and now you fucking are at the odds, and the breakup is so fucking crazy because it was been over and it just got to a head. I learned a few years ago, when I found myself pouring more into a situation that I was receiving, I really was feeling like I was depleted. And I knew for a fact that this situation was no longer for me. And I knew for a fact, like, this was just a chapter in my story. And I'm not gonna say we weren't meant to be, because we were meant to be, but for that time. And so our season was over. And so I had to really man up and acknowledge that our season was over, and I had to be truthful with all parties involved that our season was over, and it was the hardest thing that I ever had to do. But now I can do it. I will cut my mama off if I feel like, I'm just saying. But it took process and learning to get to that place and stuff, like, of self-worth and knowing what you deserve, and what's better for you, and like everything that comes with it. No, seriously. And I know, like, a lot of women right now are like complaining about being single and shit. No, take your single time and to do you, because that time right there is for self-development, and maybe God is like letting you be single because you need to work on yourself. And although you might be like, I don't work for myself, I got the career, I got the money, but there's something still there. There's something still there. Maybe you need to learn how to actually be a partner or be vulnerable. And this moment of you being single is teaching you how to be vulnerable, because you got to put yourself out there to meet somebody and really be vulnerable enough to really like open up and be real and be true to receive that back. I don't know. I think I said that part because I wish I would have took a little bit more time to be single. Like, I'm cool right now, but looking back, I see what people say, like, take your fucking time, take your time. Because I literally been jumping from relationship to relationship, and like, yeah, it was cool. Each love story was awesome, but I never had that time to essentially really do me, because I was always focused on trying to, meet somebody new. I didn't take all that energy to hone in and really just do me without looking for a jump off type shit, Yeah, like, that's the only thing, like, and it's cool. Like, I still met a wonderful woman. I'm married, we're 3 years in after U-hauling and getting married after 3 months. Yeah, that's the story for another time. But yeah, man, it's really interesting. Like, when I talk to people and I have single friends, or I know people who are single, and they complaining, I'm like, girl, enjoy that time, child, because when you locked in, you're locked in, okay? And it's all great and it's wonderful, but you're gonna miss those moments when it was just you in your house and you chilling, because then it's no longer you, it becomes we, and it's a different ball game, and which is wonderful. It's great, it's beautiful, but enjoy those moments, man. And keep loving. Don't let nobody, what was that? Don't let nobody deter your heart or blacken your heart. Keep loving. I know that man or that girl, it hurt you so bad, and you can't, and you think you can, but I bet you the moment you just let that go and just grow with it, that person is gonna come in your life and show you a love that you never felt before. And yeah, man, and then it's all gonna work out. But yeah, that's my little spiel today for just grow with it, as we continue to just grow with it. Again, my name is Chemistry, and thanks for watching. Hope to see you again later.